Part 1. A Little Boy with a Big Dream. Michael Jackson was born on August 29, 1958, in a small town called Gary, Indiana, in the United States. He lived in a tiny house with his big family. Michael had 9 brothers and sisters. Life was not easy for them. His father, Joe Jackson, worked in a steel factory. It was hard and heavy work. His mother, Catherine, stayed at home and took care of the children. She also loved music and often sang around the house. Michael grew up in a family that loved music. His mother sang gospel songs, and his father played the guitar. Music was a big part of their home. Every day, the children heard songs and sounds. They listened, danced, and sang together. Joe, their father, believed his children were talented. He wanted them to work hard and become stars, so he created a music group with his sons. At first, it was called the Jackson Brothers. Michael was still a small boy when he joined the group, but everyone saw that he was special. He had a strong voice and amazing dance moves. He could sing with deep feeling even though he was very young. People were surprised that a little boy could perform like that. Joe quickly made Michael the lead singer of the group, even though he was the youngest. In 1964, they changed the group's name to the Jackson 5. Michael's brothers were Jackie, Tito, Jermaine, and Marlon. They practiced together every day. Their father was very strict. Sometimes, the practice was long and difficult. But Michael never complained. He loved to sing and dance. He wanted to get better every day. He had a big dream to sing for the whole world. The Jackson 5 began performing at small events. They sang in clubs, talent shows, and local theaters. People started to notice them. Michael especially caught the attention of many fans. His voice, his smile, and his dance made the audience happy. But the road to success was not easy. They were rejected many times. Some people said they were too young. Others said they would not become stars. Still, Michael and his brothers kept going. In 1968, the Jackson 5 got a big chance. They traveled to audition for a famous man named Berry Gordy. He was the head of Motown Records, a well-known music company. When Michael and his brothers performed, Berry Gordy was amazed. He saw their energy, their smiles, and their love for music. He decided to sign them to a contract. It was a dream come true. The next year, in 1969, they released their first big song. It was called I Want You Back. People loved it. The song went to number 1 on the music charts. Michael was only 11 years old. His voice was playing on radios all across America. Fans sang along. People danced. The Jackson 5 had become stars. After that, they had more hit songs like ABC, The Love You Save, and I'll Be There. The Jackson 5 was famous all over the country and even in other parts of the world. But behind the music and fame, Michael was still a young boy. While other children went to school and played outside, Michael was in studios and concert halls. He worked hard every day. Sometimes, Michael felt tired. He missed having a normal life. He wanted to play with friends, go to school, and be like other kids. But he also knew that music was his gift. He wanted to share that gift. He believed that music could bring joy to people. So, he kept singing and dancing with all his heart. From a small house in Gary, Indiana, Michael Jackson took his first steps toward becoming a legend. He was just a little boy with a big dream, but that dream was strong, and he was ready to chase it. Part 2. Beyond the Stage, The Rise of a Star. As Michael Jackson became a teenager, his life was very different from most kids his age. While other children went to school and played after class, Michael was performing, traveling, and working in the music studio. He was already famous, but he still felt something was missing. He was happy to sing with his brothers, but deep inside he wanted to do more. He wanted to create his own music, tell his own stories, and show the world who he really was. Michael looked up to great artists like Stevie Wonder and James Brown. He watched how they wrote their own songs and how they made music that was full of emotion. This inspired him. He started to think about doing something similar. He wanted to become a solo artist. This was not easy because the Jackson 5 was already a popular group and stepping away could be risky. But Michael believed in himself. In 1971, when he was only 13 years old, Michael released his first solo song. It was called Got to Be There. The song was a success and showed people that Michael had a special voice, even without his brothers. Over the next few years, he continued singing with the Jackson 5 but also kept dreaming about a bigger future as a solo star. That dream started to come true in 1979. Michael worked with a talented music producer named Quincy Jones. Together, they made a new album called Off the Wall. This album had a new sound, a mix of pop, disco, and soul. It felt fresh and exciting. Songs like Don't Stop Till You Get Enough and Rock With You were full of energy and rhythm. The album was a big success. People danced to his songs at parties, on the radio, and in clubs. Michael had found his voice as a solo artist. But he didn't stop there. Michael wanted to do something even greater. He wanted to create music that broke records, changed the world, and reached people everywhere. In 1982, he released the album Thriller. It was a turning point in music history. The songs were powerful, and the beats were unforgettable. Billy Jean, Beat It, and Thriller became international hits. The music video for Thriller was more than just a video. It was like a short movie. It had dancing zombies, special makeup, and exciting effects. People around the world were amazed. They had never seen anything like it before. Michael made music videos a new kind of art. In 1983, during a television special called Motown 25, Michael performed Billie Jean and did the moonwalk for the first time on live TV. The moment became iconic. The moonwalk was smooth, cool, and magical. Children and adults everywhere tried to copy it. It became Michael's signature dance move. As his music grew more popular, so did his fashion. He wore a single white glove, sparkling jackets, white socks, short pants, and a black fedora hat. His style was unique and bold. People didn't just listen to Michael, they watched him. His clothes, his dance, his voice, they all became part of his identity. But even with all the lights and fame, Michael still worked hard every day. He wanted everything to be perfect. He practiced for hours. He studied dance. He paid attention to every sound in his songs. He loved his fans and wanted to give them the best of himself. Michael was no longer just a child star. He had become a global icon. His music crossed countries, languages, and cultures. He had a gift, and he used it to bring people together through rhythm, movement, and emotion. From a small boy with a dream, he had become one of the most loved performers in the world. And he was only just beginning. Part 3. The Heart Behind the Legend. By the time Michael Jackson reached the top of his fame, he was known all over the world. People loved his songs, his dance, and his energy. He had everything that many people dream about: money, awards, and millions of fans. But behind all the lights and the applause, Michael was also a man with deep feelings. He had many happy moments, but also many sad ones. He gave a lot to the world, but he also carried pain that people did not always see. As Michael grew older, his appearance began to change. His skin became lighter. His nose looked different. People around the world started asking questions. Some people said he wanted to look different on purpose. But the truth was that Michael had a skin disease called vitiligo. This disease made his skin lose its color in patches. To look more even, he used makeup to cover the spots. He also had some surgeries, especially on his nose. He once said that he felt shy about how he looked and wanted to feel better about himself. Still, many people did not understand and said unkind things. Michael often felt hurt and alone. Even with the pressure and the rumors, Michael kept making music and performing. But he also wanted something more: personal love, family, and peace. In 1994, he married Lisa Marie Presley, the daughter of Elvis Presley. Their marriage surprised many people. They seemed happy at first, but after 2 years, they separated. Later, in 1997, Michael married Debbie Rowe, a nurse who worked for his doctor. Together, they had 2 children, a boy named Prince and a girl named Paris. Michael was very proud to be a father. He loved his children deeply. He tried to protect them from the cameras and the public. He wanted them to grow up in a safe and loving environment. In 2002, Michael had a 3rd child, a son named Blanket, through a surrogate mother. Michael tried to give his children the joy and safety he never had as a child. He often covered their faces with masks when they went out in public. He didn't want fame to take away their normal life. Some people thought it was strange, but to Michael, it was a way of showing love. In the early 2000s, Michael faced one of the hardest times in his life. He was accused of doing something wrong to children. This news was all over the television and newspapers. It was a very painful time for him. He went to court to prove he was innocent. In 2005, the court said he was not guilty. But even after the trial, the pain stayed. He felt the world had turned against him. He became more private and stayed away from the spotlight. His heart was heavy. Still, he never stopped dreaming. In 2009, Michael announced a big comeback tour called This Is It. He planned 50 shows in London. Fans were excited. They waited to see their hero back on stage. Michael worked hard during rehearsals. He wanted everything to be perfect. He said this tour would be his last, and he wanted to thank his fans with love and music. But on June 25, 2009, something terrible happened. Michael Jackson died at the age of 50. The world was shocked. People cried. The news said he died from a heart problem caused by a strong medicine. His death broke the hearts of millions of fans. On July 7, 2009, a special memorial was held for Michael in Los Angeles. Many stars and friends came to say goodbye. But the most touching moment came from his daughter, Paris. She stood in front of the world and said, "Daddy has been the best father you could ever imagine." Her words brought tears to everyone's eyes. Even though Michael is gone, his music still lives. His songs are still played. His dance moves are still copied. His videos are still watched. Michael Jackson gave the world his heart. He taught us to dream, to care, and to believe in magic. He showed that music can heal, connect, and inspire. Michael was not just a pop star. He was a man who used music to bring people together. He had a kind heart, a strong spirit, and a dream that never stopped. That is why he will always be remembered as the king of pop. His light still shines in the hearts of those who love him. Michael Jackson's story is more than just a story about music. It is a story about dreams, hard work, love, pain, and never giving up. From a small house in Gary, Indiana, to the biggest stages in the world, Michael showed us what is possible when someone believes in themselves. He started as a little boy with a big dream. He sang with his brothers. He danced with joy. He practiced every day, even when it was hard. He wanted to give the world something special. As he grew older, Michael became one of the most famous people on earth. His songs were loved by millions. His dance moves were copied by fans in every country. He made music videos that changed the way people saw music. He was more than a singer. He was a performer, an artist, and a voice for hope and unity. But life was not always kind to Michael. Fame brought pressure. People judged him for how he looked. The media said things that hurt him. He felt alone many times. Still, he stayed true to his dream. He became a father. He loved his children. He tried to protect them. Even in his most difficult moments, he still cared about his fans. He still gave his heart to music. Michael's story teaches us something very important. It shows us that success is not just about talent. It is about dedication, patience, and courage. It is about believing in yourself, even when others don't. It is about giving love to the world, even when the world is not perfect. In our lives today, we can learn from Michael. Maybe we are not famous. Maybe we don't sing or dance, but we all have dreams. We all face hard days. We all want to be loved and understood. So let us remember Michael's story when we feel weak. Let us keep moving forward. Let us be kind, brave, and creative, just like he was. And now, congratulations! You have listened to the full story of Michael Jackson. That means you have improved your English listening and reading skills. Well done! You are one step closer to understanding English better and to feeling more confident every day. If you enjoyed this story and want to learn more English through inspiring stories like this, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Your support gives us the energy to keep making free, helpful content for English learners like you. And if you want to help us grow, you can also donate to support our work. Making good content takes time and love, and in the beginning it is not easy. But we do this because we believe in helping you. Thank you for listening, and see you in the next story.